DJ LeRoy,
NightWatchman, how you doing, buddy?
Great. We're in the midst of summer,
and also, can you say the midst of I guess what primary season has ended, but stuff is heating up, and it seems as if the Dems in New York are kind of like falling in line. What's going on here?
They should, but I don't want to talk about them because I don't want to say anything bad about anyone this morning.
And be barred from the radio station. I got you, man. I got you. so needless to say, but it's also summer. We know what happens. Two major events in the community. One of them, of course, we know always happening there at Marcus Garvey Park, and that could only be classical theater. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
I heard that we have a returning guest. Could that be?
Who could it be?
Can you say the one, the only Ty Jones, baby? Yeah.
Welcome, Ty.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Glad to be here.
Ty, okay, I would be lying if I said that I don't look forward to every summer having that residency there in Marcus Garvey Park, man. So I understand that you're going to be knocking it out the park. Is that correct?
We are knocking it out the park with no puns or anything. Just knocking it out the park. No other kind of knocking, right? We're really thrilled to be there once again. With a play by a gentleman named Will Power. Hopefully, your audience will get a chance to meet him. Carl Cofield is returning to direct this production.
Okay.
Or has returned, and we essentially had a critics pick in the Wall Street Journal as well as Theater Mania. So, and the Wall Street Journal, this was their first time reviewing one of our shows. So Charles Isherwood, I think, will probably return again. So we're really
beautiful. Loving it. Thanks, Ty. So NightWatchman, you know what? Funny enough, this guy, I heard him. I first saw him when we had Marcus meets Malcolm. You were actually engaging him because I think we had just had hosted a forum regarding legal cannabis. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So that and he actually put the idea in my head about the show. Can you believe that? Can we bring up Canna Bruce?
Sure.
Something's good. Something's going wonky here. There we go. Hey.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning, Bruce. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well.
Good.
Got my ceiling fan on and my window open. Life is good.
Indeed. So I want to give you major props for putting the idea in the head in terms of, let's say, Soapbox Presents, man, because I remember us also getting over to have a conversation over at Gin Jan Brothers, man.
Yes.
So like I said, thank you for planting the seed. Okay. So
that conversation now looks interesting to me because that was a conversation about how to extend or continue or magnify what Marija is doing.
So yes, what a visionary. So, and we're going to have her out here too. So with that, NightWatchman, I got to also say he is my. Can I say my Haitian brother? Can I say that?
All right.
Well, I'm going to
say
he's
your Haitian brother.
All right. Bring him out here, man. NightWatchman, Jonathan Michel. All right. Comment ça va? Do you?
Hey, y'all. There you go. What's up?
All right. How you doing, man?
What's up, everybody? Y'all good?
Yes, indeed. Thank you for joining us, man.
Oh, it's great to be here. I'm glad to join you guys.
Beautiful. NightWatchman, you know what? We got there, and we got to give him also major props because he's coming from the West Coast, man. Somebody that Ty just mentioned, Will Power. Bring him out, man. Yes.
What's going on? Good morning, everybody. What's going on? Hey, Curtis Archer, the one and only NightWatchman. How's everyone doing? Coming from LA, where the sun is up, the sun is always shining.
Hold on. I thought it's always shining in Philadelphia. What's this with LA, man? I got you, bro. I got you. So
Curtis, you've been looking all your life for willpower. Now you found it.
There we go. There we go.
I cannot believe he went there, but anyway,
it is him. That's right. Good to see y'all.
Well, folks or gentlemen, it would not be complete without the Queen, right?
Yeah, certainly not.
Bring her out here. Yes.
Good morning, all.
Right.
Hey.
I am thrilled to be the feminine energy in this room this morning.
Glad to have it.
Yes.
We are thrilled to have you. Absolutely.
Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. So you know what? Let's get it popping. So needless to say, Ty, a couple of things. I know about the residency always every summer in Marcus Garvey Park. All right.
Mm-hmm.
But this particular one, Willpower, why is this special? I need you to let me know why this is going to really captivate and be timely for a Harlem audience, man.
Okay. I'm going to try to be as succinct as I possibly can. All right. 100 years ago, this was a neighborhood that was under siege. We did not have access, political access, healthcare access. And what people ended up doing was getting together. And usually they got together because of the arts around community maintenance. And it eventually led to Adam Clayton Powell representing us. It eventually led to Harlem Hospital, right? So we're celebrating that 100th anniversary, but it was over a period of time. How important the arts were when it comes to community maintenance. And I would like, this is the goal, is that over the stretch of the next, I would say 3 to 5 years, I would love to put together a triptych of these plays that are what I would call somewhat Greek adjacent, that Willpower has put together. So this first one is Memnon. He's got 2 more. I'm going to let him talk about that. But the idea would be 100 years from now, I want people to look back and be like, what did Classical Theater of Harlem do in celebration of the 100th anniversary? And they'll be able to look over a stretch of time to see, the version of Midsummer Night's Dream that we did that had the Harlem Renaissance theme. There's a piece that I'm really looking forward to trying to produce with the Schomburg. I'll put it out there. There's nothing, no ink is dried or anything like that, but it's about Arturo Schomburg, somebody who was absolutely influential during the Harlem Renaissance. And then, when we're talking about rediscovery and rebirth and renewal, there's no better conversation to have than these stories, which have way more than a dotted line connection from Greece to Africa and Kemet and Egypt and Ethiopia. So that's the larger plan here. What can we do right now in celebration of this stretch of period of time that we call the Harlem Renaissance? And what's Classical Theater of Harlem going to do over the next couple of years in celebration of that? So I'm underscoring Willpower's work over the next few years to make sure that we, that everybody knows that the capital of New York City is Harlem.
I love that. Oh, yes, indeed. So Willpower, he called you out, man. He called
me out.
Yes, indeed. So you got to tell us what's in that bag of yours. 2 more.
I think to Ty's point, I mean, Greek mythology is looked at as the pinnacle of European culture. It's looked at as the thing that makes European special, blah, 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 and all that. But what they don't tell you is that there was a humongous African presence within Greek culture, and that the ancient Greeks looked at Africa as the pinnacle of culture. You know what I mean? So, and not to take anything from ancient Greek culture, because it was a sophisticated culture, but so with these plays, I'm kind of unearthing these characters, these African characters that were severely revered in Greek culture and in Greek life and in Greek mythology, but have been erased. A lot of times we as a people go through erasure. You know what I mean? Where we have a tremendous contribution to something, whether it's science or whether it's mathematics or art or politics or the legal field or whatever, and then there's an erasure happens, and then it comes down. They wheedle it down to like Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, and maybe Frederick Douglass. And those giants are great. So nothing to disrespect them, but there's so many other stories, both historical stories and mythological stories. So this is kind of like a unearthing of these erasures that Classical Theater Harlem and Ty and Carl Cofield and the whole group are trying to do. So like he said, Memnon is the first one, which is about an Ethiopian warrior that's a critical character in the Trojan War. I thought that was all white, but it's not. And then we have one called Andromeda, which is about the Ethiopian queen Andromeda, and Medusa is also in that. And I didn't realize that Medusa was actually an African priestess. And this is something that ancient Greek historians talk about, but it's just you have to dig real deep, And then there's another one that deals with one of the Odysseus, who's like kind of like the central character in the European Greek mythological canon. His long lost son is an African too. And people don't talk about. They know about the one son that was in the Odyssey, but this is another one. And the whole epic cycle ends with their relationship and them trying to figure it out. So that's the cycle. And to Ty's point, I grew up kind of in hip hop and in spoken word and writing in rhythms. And so this is like writing in the ancient Greek meter. So it's kind of like they're calling it like a neoclassical piece. It's new, but it's also like a classical kind of perspective on it, because all these African figures had plays about them, but those plays have been lost, And so this is kind of like imagining what happens if we find those plays and bring them back. So I am really excited about it. I'm excited about what Carl and Ty are undertaking here, and I think it's already real special with the Memnon thing. So we're just going to keep it going. So that's kind of the gist of it.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. And NightWatchman, I already mentioned that how Bruce kind of like planted the seed, right? And also he's kind enough to invite us to his stoop. And what did we see there when he activated us on his stoop, huh?
You want to know what we actually saw?
Yes, I do want to know what we actually saw.
Let's see.
I want to know too.
Now, Watchman, remember, you are the tech guy, man.
Yeah, I know. If it works, it works. If it doesn't,
building in anticipation.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna come back to it.
Okay. So Bruce, bottom line, you just knew that this would be something that would be kind of like transformative in the space of Harlem, man. And so of course you arranging that meeting that we had over at the Ginger and Brothers. What was your impetus and also just identifying Marija as that person, that voice?
I think that I would use the word magic.
Okay.
And I apologize for being a little wonky here. Having a playwright with us and a director producer, maybe it's okay. But I found myself trying to understand why I couldn't let go of the experience.
Gotcha.
That we had a year ago. And I found myself in our meeting and in conversations with you, aware that there was a difference between describing it to you, telling you the street was filled with people,
right,
on the one hand, and you actually sitting there and seeing the street fill up, seeing the music literally lift the crowd, and seeing the crowd literally become one.
That you know what, that is so true. And Marija, that's absolutely correct or whatever. You were a lion tamer. Yes, that's right. A community tamer. So,
I like that. For those of you who don't know, I'm the founder and executive director of the Soapbox Presents. We are a platform for Black and Brown expression. We build community by producing free activations that celebrate the brilliance of Black and Brown people through art. So the event that they are talking about is our annual Big Band Jubilee Stoop Session. Big Band Jubilee. We've done it for 4 years now, 2 years on Bruce's block, and it is a magical reawakening and reimagining of the Harlem Renaissance and that iconic photo, A Great Day in Harlem.
yes.
We have 15 Black musicians on a stoop performing the classics from Duke Ellington to Count Basie, and also some contemporary big band iterations. This year, our music director was Brian Carter. We bring out Lindy Hoppers. It is a magical community building experience. There were about 3,000 people on the block. The stoops have strangers on them, so you leave, you come as a stranger and you leave as neighbors. So I'm really proud of what we're built.
Beautiful. Thank you. And Jonathan, of course, I know bassist, composer, extraordinaire, man. Like, what attracted you to Soapbox Presents, man? Talk to me.
I mean, you said it, Marija is really somebody who is easy to follow, to work with, to, make stuff happen with, and the way that she builds community, the way that you guys see it on the block, that's how she's doing it behind the scenes with musicians, empowering me, empowering other musicians to really use their voice through the soapbox, and for me personally, anywhere that's, elevating Black and brown faces and voices, and I'm trying to be a part of it anyway. And if it's about excellence, if it's about, community, I'm there. And, I have to say, every time, I can't really remember the first time we worked together.
It's been years now.
Yeah, but it's been great. I really we've done so many different kinds of activations and different things, and yeah, I guess that's what I could say. Marija's leadership, it's really clear, it's really focused.
What a piper, huh?
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Jonathan is one of my favorite MDs to work with. I know that he's always going to bring himself to every one of the activations that he's on. So I love working with him.
Excellent. So NightWatchman, I'm coming back to you. How are we looking over there?
We're still working on it. I'm on the road, so I don't have all my usual tools, but
your bells and whistles. Okay.
Bear with me.
Then you know what? Then I'm going right back to Marcus Garvey Park. That's where I'm going, man. And I want to know, Ty. So one of the dreams that you had, of course, Delacorte closing. Oh my God, there's no culture. But I look up north and I see that there is this thing called classical theater. Yeah. But why can't we have that consistently? Why does there need to be a comparison? Delacorte, classical theater. Take it, man.
Yeah, so I'm not interested in being compared to the Delacorte, right? They are our friends. And all I like to say that there is no competition. That's $100 million institution. Luis Miranda's their board chair.
Oh, wow.
We can go on and on and on, right?
Yes.
Our institution is just south of $3 million. Now, I will say, and I am thankful that a number of trades for several years now have compared our productions. And all I'll say to that is that we are here to complement the summer season with another great show. So please go see both of our shows. Go see theirs and see ours. But even though I am humbled by what many of the trades have said about our work, I'm not looking to compete with them at all. We can stand on our own. And I think it's really important. I think you know this about me, Curtis. There's an element of self-determination that really resonates with me.
Yes.
I think some of the challenges we have, and I'm about to write a play. It's in my head when I have time, right? And it's going to be called "We Are All Jackie Robinson," and because there is something about the way in which some of us are chosen to be in certain spaces, right? And then some of the challenge is that once we get in those spaces, because just about everybody with whom I work, Curtis and everybody here, we've all gone to those schools, right? And they told us that, Shakespeare's the greatest writer and all that other kind of stuff. And I get it. I understand that. But at the end of the day, I don't think that way. But it took me a long time because I'm being told what the gold standard is. I'm being told who the imprimatur is, or what is the imprimatur, and what I'm supposed to look to and value. And so to unplug yourself from that, I think, is a bit of a challenge. it's capitalism is a bitch, excuse my language, but we all like nice things, don't get me wrong. Yes. But I think we have to start to rethink what we actually value, and it's hard to do. It's hard to do. So what I'm just trying to do is that I want to find those accomplices, if you will, not just allies, but accomplices who understand that as Black folks, we know how to sing and dance, but we know how to make decisions too. All right. And so those accomplices out there, I want them to be able to, if they do have access to resources, just give us the resources. That's all there is to it. If we have the resources, we can do anything, if not at the top of the of the totem pole of anything that happens on this planet. Anytime we've gotten access to something, we take lemons and make lemonade. We really do. And I'm not trying to undermine. I just want to underscore our own excellence. And that sometimes, even as artists, we have to be able to say, oh, you mean because I get an Oscar, it doesn't mean what it necessarily means, or an Emmy, or any of those things. Getting that hardware does feel a certain way. But let me tell you, there's something revealing when you find out that little trophy is made on 45th Street, and Fifth Avenue in some factory somewhere, So it's hard, though. It's a hard thing to do. And so that's what I love about Classical Theater of Harlem. What I'm trying to do is create an institution where the institution stands on its own. Because look, there's something to be said about bringing on celebrities, right? There's a value to it in our society, but that's happened for thousands of years, right? That there is something about the it factor with certain people, and our desire to have proximity to those folks. So do I want to have some celebrities on our stages and things like that? Sure. But I still want CTH to stand on its own. And anybody who wants to support CTH that doesn't necessarily look like us, what I hope is that they'll understand that the distinction of giving a man a fish versus teaching a man to fish, right? I want them John Brown allies to go like, look, I know all y'all need is resources, and if you have the resources, we can find a way that we can be on that sort of teach a man to fish level, right? And then we can sustain ourselves. We can be self-reliant. And that's what I'm trying to do, right now. I think about the animation project that I'm trying to get off the ground that I hope will be something that will help sustain CTH. Don't get me wrong. I'll still ask for that, those government grants, and I still will ask for philanthropy to help us out. But if we can find a way to generate revenue for ourselves, just have more say in our own lives. That's all.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Ty. And I won't even mention that, maybe I said, how sometimes they would rub your head for good luck, right? Okay. So I understand that if they get a performance here at CTH, oh my God, they could actually win a Tony. Who knew?
Well, I mean, look, we're not eligible for the Tonys, but the New York Times 2 years ago when we did 12th Night, they literally wrote an article about shows in New York City that should be eligible for Tonys. And they talked about our production, which is great. I am not going to walk away from that. I'm not going to poo-poo that. It wouldn't serve me to do something like that. And I think I'd even undermine those with whom I work if I did something like that. But I also want folks to be mindful that that we need to be self-reliant. I think, let me put it this way. I think there's strength when we can find a place to be self-reliant and not dependent upon foundations, not dependent upon government. That's kind of how I feel. And it's hard to do it in a not-for-profit space.
Absolutely. I understand that the Night Watchman has another screen ready. Is that correct, Night Watchman?
No, it's not.
Hey, I think Will was about to say something.
Will, go ahead, man.
I just wanted to just add to what Ty was saying. I mean, one of the many things that's so amazing about what Classical Theater of Harlem does is you have these productions that are just top notch. I mean, I don't mean just the writing or directing, but the design elements, the lights, the set, the costumes. It's just it's like it can compete and be on par with the best theater in New York, Broadway or off Broadway, and yet it's completely free. And so I've noticed as a playwright, and I've seen how people just have more access to it. If a friend of mine goes, they can come again. They can bring 10 more friends. Someone yesterday was telling me they're going to bring their auntie came and the auntie's going to bring friends. It's just so fluid and easy for people to get access to it in a way that it's becoming more and more challenging with other types of theater. I love Broadway. I hope to work on it one day. And I've done a lot of off-Broadway and a lot of different kind of things. Some of those tickets are getting so expensive. They're like $500, $600. Not all of them, right. But some of them. And so like, if you have a ticket that's $500, even if you're not meaning to, that's already taking out a large percentage of the population, not just poor people, which, you know, we want access for them too, but working class, middle class, upper middle class. I mean, $500. If you're middle class, you're looking at bringing, you know, a family of four. That's $2,000 to a show. Again, for some shows. So I think that's the amazing thing that classical theater does. I've been saying it's the most democratic theater in the country. I know that's going on a limb, but I think it really is, because it offers a way in for a multitude of different kinds of people, and the conversations that happen. I've never seen anything like it, because you have all these different kinds of people coming across all these different lines to engage in a theater show and a story, and then dialogue about it afterwards. They do all these like markets beforehand, and sometimes the Jazzmobile performance, it's like a real festival type thing. It reminds me of the original kind of Greek festivals that I read about, you know. So it's new, it's innovative what Ty and them are doing. And it's also, in some ways, if I may, returning to the idea of storytelling as a civic duty, as a communal expression, you know, where everyone is gathering. So it's really great.
An interesting thing that I think our organizations actually have in common. Specifically, I'm glad Jonathan and I are on the call. We're both on Broadway right now.
Very nice.
And I'm in Death Becomes Her on Broadway. So we both operate in both of these spheres where it is, we have our personal artistic endeavors that are being supported by traditional institutions, but we also have this other calling for culture and community that we cultivate outside of that.
Right.
One of the pillars of the Soapbox Presents and Classical Theater of Harlem as well is obviously access, increasing access to the arts and returning art to the people that create it. We create jazz music. We did that. We created gospel music and R&B and soul music. So why shouldn't our music be played for our people on our streets? So I do think that we are very well aligned in that sense, the two organizations increasing access to the arts. And the array of folks that come to our activations, you have 3-year-olds that come that I've literally seen grow up on our checkerboard linoleum over the years. We've been activating since 2020. And you have the aunties and the uncles and the grandmas that bring their chairs out to set up an hour before the activations. It doesn't matter what your economic status is. It doesn't matter if you are able-bodied or considered disabled. It doesn't matter. All that we do, we are there to celebrate and build community and celebrate Black and Brown excellence, Black and Brown brilliance.
Beautiful. You know what? I could only imagine, Marija, that in terms of first doing this on the street, that there must have been a lot of hurdles, because I certainly know, and I'll give you from experience, because you can see the shirt that I'm wearing, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're talking about Storm and Norman and the whole thing, going up against that giant that is known as the city of New York and all the legislation that you need to go through. So tell me what your experience was like pushing those boulders.
Yes. Yeah. So there are certain things I can say and certain things I can't say.
Okay.
A relationship that I have to actively maintain.
Yes.
I can't do what we do without maintaining these relationships and remaining with them. I cannot tell you, I cannot overstate how difficult this is to do. Funding is one part of it, one piece of it, but far beyond funding, working within the kind of government agencies that have to all be in compliance for us to do what we do. You have SAPO, which is the Street Activities Permitting Office. You have the NYPD. You have the FDNY. You have community councils. You have community boards, and then you have the block associations. All of the conversations have to be maintained. And we're now in Harlem and Brooklyn, which means the precinct in Brooklyn, we have a relationship with them as well. So it gets very, very challenging. And that's a huge portion of my job. I would say about 80% of my time goes towards just building and maintaining relationships and trying to make sure everybody is on the same page. Everybody unanimously agrees that what we do is great for community and great for culture. Everybody has a different kind of point of entry into understanding what we do.
Beautiful. So now, Bruce, I'm going to say, with you being there on West 119th Street, has there been acceptance or has there been some pushback? I know you're not going to mention any names, but do tell.
I think that last year there was, heading into it, there was some pushback, some concern. But having experienced that this year, everyone was like, "Yeah, baby, I'll go." Let's, was afraid Marija was going to depart for some other block. So
119th is one of my favorite blocks to be on because they are so generous. And to Bruce's point, before we activated last year, there were some neighbors who were concerned. There were some neighbors who they didn't really know what it was. They hadn't experienced it before. We always leave the block better than it was when we arrived. So I always clean the block before, I clean the block the night after, and I clean the block at 6 a.m. the day after the activation. So that's never a concern of mine. But if you've never, it's one thing to talk about it, it's another thing to experience it. If you've never actually experienced what this is, the magic of our activations, you don't understand until you see it. So these neighbors that were somewhat reluctant, like, what is this and what is happening? And you're taking over the block and it's a lot of equipment. Those same neighbors came up to me afterwards and said, "This is magical. This is magical.
Wow.
You can use my stoop. You want to use my stoop next year? I want you to be on my stoop." And to have a block that is like, the block literally asked, "Can you just have all of your activations on our block?" And I'm like, well, I think that would stress the PD out a little bit, but it's a really generous block. It's like I said, one of my favorite places to activate. They open their stoops to absolute strangers. It's a magical demonstration of doing community, what we call doing community.
Gotcha. Beautiful. Thank you for that. And needless to say, I got to say, Jonathan, Broadway to now then live on a block in Harlem. Like, yo, what is that experience like for you, man?
You know what? It's similar and different, because for me personally, I always, one of the first sort of like decisions I made as an artist was to decide that like music always has like a social function, right? This is weird to say, but like you can be doing it wrong, and so you're doing it right. On the Broadway side, it's really fun. There's a room full of people. We're working together. There's 60, 70 people working together to like make this show happen, but then, and the show that I'm on, I'm playing The Wiz, so that I do get to really touch some Black folks too, which is really great too in this with this story. But then to be on a block, watching, when you watch a whole block of people all make the same step to the right on the electric slide while you're playing, coming together, putting these shows together can be, Marija and I will talk about the set list. I'll think on it. We'll rehearse. But then when you're playing this thing and it's intended for these folks who are coming for our folks, and then we get to the point of the show where everybody knows it's coming and everybody steps to the right at the same time.
Yes.
And there's nothing like it. There's a standing ovation is great, is really good. It's close, but we all know, we all have an electric slide moment, like when you learned it, this wedding or this thing or this block party or this barbecue, and so to have that moment is unmatched, completely unmatched, and so many things come together for that, right? And like the intention, I think, is one of those things. Like we all intended to be there like that, and for the folks who don't always have access to the level of a musician, like Brian Carter, who was an MD. He was the MD for Good Night, Good Luck on Broadway with George.
Wow.
Yes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, so to be able to have him playing drums for you while you are Lindy hopping is amazing. Or while you're in your chair, just taking in this high level, there's people from Jazz and Lincoln Center Orchestra who play in that big band, to have that experience, I have chills right now, actually. It's really amazing. And in Harlem, you know, around this time where, like Ty said, you know, we're celebrating this period of time 100 years ago where so many things were happening, coalesced around the arts, and here we are again doing it. I am excited, y'all.
Beautiful. And Ty, so you already heard some of the challenges from Marija in terms of you launching, but you've been there for a while. We know to expect you every summer. We know this already. But are you still facing any, besides funding? I know that one. What are you facing in terms of some challenges, man?
Oh man. Okay, I'm just gonna cut to the chase. So,
but remember, be careful not to mention any names.
Why not? Why can't I mention? That's the only way you get shit done. Excuse my language. I mean, look. We can do all of the rhetoric, you know, and find all of the language to make sure that, you know, folks are comfortable. But look, if we want to get something done, you've got to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. So I mean, yeah, you got to name names. Yeah. So I had a problem with Ken Conyers, who works at Pelham Fritz. You know, he's one of the I don't want to call him an executive, but he is somebody in leadership in the Department of Parks and Recreation. So in Pelham Fritz, if anybody has been there, it's a recreational center, and it is directly adjacent to the backstage area of Marcus Garvey Park. Of Richard Rogers Amphitheater. They are connected. I have about 40 people backstage, and we all share one toilet. Women and men have different needs.
Yes.
One door. It's one door. You open these doors, there are bathrooms sitting right there in Pelham Fritz, men and women's restroom. They refuse to allow us to have access to those bathrooms. They even went so far as to talk about how, you know, we have a shortage of funding and all of the stuff that gets said around parks but then they were like, oh, but we will rent porta-sons outside and we can do a curtain and hang for you outside. So I literally said to them, so please listen to what you just said. You basically said, as opposed to just making sure these doors are open, by the way, we'll pay for overtime, we'll pay for security, we'll do all of that, we've got insurance, all of it. Instead
so
of
you guys were ready to assume the cost.
We'll have you go outside. I was like, this is not 1955, it's 2025. So so that's my next thing. I just had the borough president. He came yesterday and spoke before 1,000 people.
Beautiful.
And I did the walkthrough with him, and I was like, look, I have been asking this for year after year. He agreed with me. He had Sean Brannon with him. He told me to send my advocacy letter. I sent it to him and he said that it's probably going to be a mayoral type thing where the mayor insists for them to open some breezeway doors so my team for 3 hours a night can have access to restrooms. 2025, I'm dealing with restrooms.
Ty, thank you. Well said, Bruce.
Wow.
Do not, because I see you wrapping your head, and I know you have also an issue. But what we want to hear about are the successes and the good work that you guys are doing for sure. Will, you're there in California. I don't know if you go through the same things, but
I think I'm more on the artistic side, but I do feel like every city has its bureaucracy and has great people that are trying to do some stuff, and then it has its own kind of created thing around it that people have to maneuver. You know what I mean? So whether it's in LA or San Francisco or, you know, some are worse or more intense than others. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think some of these communities, like in LA, for example, it's a lot more spread out. So it's still bureaucracy, but it's not the same kind of thing. I would imagine it's like, you know, the same opportunities of people to come into contact with events because you're walking. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I would say. But I'm not as much in the great work that Marija and Ty are doing to make this happen. You know what I mean? Yeah. I come in and I wouldn't say it's easy to write a play because it's not. But I have the blessing of like having these amazing people like the folks on the show kind of set those things up, and then I have to do my part. You know, I have to do my part too. Yeah. To create it, to allow, you know, a platform for the actors in the production to go. So we all have our part to play.
Yeah, absolutely. So Marija, so heard the challenges there in Marcus Garvey Park, you know, at the Richard Rogers Amphitheater. So I'm just wondering now, with you guys maybe taking that venue and doing an activation? Are there any reservations on your part?
Are you speaking specifically about Marcus Garvey Park?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we were there last year doing Summer Stage, and we'll be again for Summer Stage August. That is August 16th this year. Actually, I've heard about the challenges that being in that amphitheater kind of present, and I think those challenges are they range from very small that have a large impact to very large, i.e. just the amphitheater itself being protected and being sheltered. The floor is, I know, always a problem because there's not a gate or anything protecting the stage itself. So all kinds of activity actually happens in that amphitheater when it's not being activated. So I'm aware of all of the problems. I will say having Summer Stage as a partner has been helpful to me. Now I can't imagine going it alone and kind of activating there separately. That would incur additional expenses because there's certain things that I can't have performers on that floor as it exists normally because it's a hazard. It's a safety hazard. Also having to bring in all of the lighting and the sound grids and all of those things. So I will say for me at this point, having a partner that does support, not just financially, but that does support on the infrastructure side of things is helpful in that particular venue. There are a lot of venues that exist in Harlem. There are 4 historic parks. 2 of them have great band shells.
Yep.
There are all types of community politics that get involved with activating there. There are sound ordinances that keep activations from happening at Jackie Robinson. There are also little things that a lot of people don't necessarily see and don't necessarily understand. So producers like myself and Ty, your job becomes dealing with the larger things and the artistic curatorial things, but also the small things like cleanup, security, sometimes working with the community to address the drug problem that can be present in some of the public spaces. All of these things are kind of our concerns. So from the large to the small, minute that have a great impact.
Absolutely. NightWatchman, what you got? Oh, I see Bruce. Bruce, what you got going on, man?
I wanted to ask Ty a question because I just find what he described to be inconceivable.
I think that's the problem. I think is that I'm going to let you ask the question. I will, but that is one of the issues because I have presented this in front of other politicians, and they say the same things like, "Really? No way." And I'm like, "Yes way." The stench and the legacy of Robert Moses is very much alive. So we just got to understand that this stuff is still here, and as unbelievable as it may be, we got to have our head on a swivel like a Janus. You know what I mean? It's here. It's here.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. You did want to ask me a question.
Okay. Bruce, go ahead.
Someone involved in the 119th Street Block Association, and have had some interaction with Community Board 10. Can the community have a voice in this and go to this gentleman and say, really?
It's a Parks leadership. It's a Parks leadership. He's been my nemesis. He's my Robert Moses personally, but it's a park leadership issue because the regular folks who are there at the parks, they're awesome. They're awesome. They want the overtime. They're incredible.
Nice.
Now, here's the thing. I tried to comport myself in a certain way so I didn't come across as the angry black man. And, and you do the political route, right? I even had other people from my board take the lead so it doesn't become about me, right?
Yeah.
So now we could do a letter writing campaign, right? We have, not only the community boards, but I've got a vast list of 35,000 people.
Now, today, tonight, tomorrow, you need these bathrooms. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, so I could do that, but I've been trying to do it in a way that is more politic, right? That is more diplomatic. But I'm getting upset now. And then but it'll still happen.
Folks, and I know you have been an FBI agent, but not an angry black man. Just so people know. So having said that,
I was an FBI agent that accused of being of an angry black man. I thought you watched the show, Curtis. I thought you watched the show.
I got you. Okay, so this was going to happen. NightWatchman, what you got for us, man?
Well, I don't have video, but I do have pictures.
Look at that. That's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
And,
Beautiful.
I might be able to get some videos into video edit. We'll see. But I wanted to make sure that we had a chance to see this because what was going on that day is just incredible.
It was, yes.
It was even for us who have been, I've had my share of big outdoor events in Harlem. This was unbelievable. I did a rough estimate. Bruce and I were sitting on the stoop, and I felt like it was maybe like 2,500 to 3,000 people in just on that block, which is incredible. Yeah. Everybody having a good time, nothing but peace.
No drama.
Love, great music, great dancing. And so, Marija, it's just, I just can't tell you how excited we were to have you on the show to just talk about what you created and the trials and tribulations, but more important is the triumph, because
I always say what we do, it's never easy, it's very rarely easy, but it's always worth it. It's always worth it when you see the community come out. And know that this day was probably the worst rainstorm of the entire
that's right. That's right.
Entire year.
Rainstorms.
Correct. We had one at 2:00. We had one at 4:00, and then we had a 45-minute one just before we were supposed to start. It was rain. It was thunder. It was lightning. And very rarely in New York City do we get like
everybody came anyway.
And it was 3,000 people in spite of all of that.
Yes.
I'm proud of my team because having outdoor concerts, you never. I can't control the weather. I have tried.
Mother Nature. That's right.
Right. I've tried for many years to develop the skill of controlling the weather, but I have not yet addressed that. I will continue to do my part and try, but having my team motivate in spite of all of that weather and put on a 2-hour concert for 3,000 people was amazing. So I'm very proud of my team as well.
Well, if you do develop that skill, I understand that they're recasting Storm for the X-Men, so you would be perfect for that.
I agree. You manifest for me, okay?
Absolutely.
NightWatchman, I cannot believe you went there. Bruce, what do you got? You were about to say something.
Yeah, I'm very, very disappointed to hear that you don't control the weather. You really set me back there. But one of the things that I wondered watching you from across the street is, what the hell were you thinking? What were you saying to other people? What are other people saying to you? What's the conversation that's happening?
Yes, Pied Piper. What are you doing during those moments? Tell us.
How did you hold it together? Hold them together?
I've gotten very accustomed. You can't panic. You can't panic. Also, I just have to accept the fact that I cannot control the weather. There are a lot of things I can't control. That's one of them that I cannot. Doing what we do on the street, you become very adept at pivoting, at being adaptable. That's one of the foremost skills that doing what we do requires. You have to know how to adapt because you never know what's going to happen. So in that moment, I was actually about to call it because I actively have a guy on our sound team looking at the radar and telling me that there's another storm coming. Not only are we currently in a 45-minute downpour, there's one coming at 7:00. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I had a conversation with my sound team. I walked back to my house, which is a block away, and where we use my apartment as the green room for the artists. Had a conversation with the music director, Brian Carter, and he was like, what can we do acoustically? Let's just go acoustically. Let's go without the equipment. I'm like, okay. So then that becomes, okay, let's do it. What needs to happen? And then the sound team said, okay, let's see what we can get up. And it really just becomes a collaborative effort between the artist, the production team, videography and photography, everybody capturing the moment, and the audience's willingness to hang around and really wanting this experience. It becomes a collaboration between everybody to do this. And to have this day be such a tumultuous kind of weather event, and then to have the skies clear and the sun come out, and to have 3,000 people on the street listening to jazz music, celebrating and manifesting freedom, there is no better feeling than that.
No, not at all. And I got to give major props to Setapani from 120th to 119th. not a bad thing while the rain is coming down. So
correct. Everybody was seeking shelter in the local businesses. That's another part of what we do. I love activating in residential neighborhoods because you also have small businesses in residential neighborhoods. So the economic boost that all of these businesses on Lenox see when we activate, that's measurable. That's a magic number.
They were some happy businesses that day.
Correct.
All were full.
Yes,
So,
indeed.
Marija, I want to tell you and the assembled maybe the flip side of that pressure and craziness with the rain. We had people on our street, and it started to rain, and I opened up our vestibule doors and brought down chairs and brought them in out of the rain.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So then when it stopped, so like these are people I didn't know. These are people who said, "Hey, can we sit on your stoop?" And I said, "Yeah." So we became friends.
Yes.
We became instantaneously friends. Curtis, you witnessed what was happening on the lower level. So this is an experience. I don't know. You can't plan. You can't program.
No.
It spins out of the magicalness of what you're doing, and I want to focus on the word magic because I also want to tell Ty and Will that there were some wonderfully magical moments in the show that we saw on Sunday night. That Will, you talked about the production values that Ty manages to always put up there, and there were some very extraordinary magical moments, and I took the time to look up the word magical. And magical is something that transcends our ordinary experiences.
Yes.
Something ordinary becoming extraordinary, and that capture. I've never thought to look up the definition of magical, which I did this morning.
But that's indeed what she is.
Something ordinary becoming extraordinary.
That's right.
And it's really delightful to be in this room here with you guys.
Okay.
Jonathan, can I ask you a question?
Hey, sure. Before you do, I want to make mention that Classical Theater of Harlem last year also had their rain experience that I experienced. They had a night when the rain challenge, and they eventually had to stop it. Right. But the soldiering on of those actors that day were tremendous, and even seeing 1/3 to 1/2 of the show, it was amazing. And I came back twice afterwards to see the full show, but I just wanted to acknowledge you guys because I guess that's part of the rites of passage that you got to deal with the rain. But you earn your stripes.
Can I? Oh wait,
Ty,
I think
you're on mute, Ty.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll make it quick. What's happening right now too is that the weatherman is about as accurate as the groundhog these days. But it's actually not a good thing because there is a sort of pseudo monopoly around the weather stations now. So we're basically single sourcing our weather. As soon as that person or those people or that Doppler gets it wrong, we all get it wrong. So there is a bigger sort of conversation to be had, about where we are in the space of presenting these things that are outdoors, because we want to be able to have accurate forecasting.
Yes.
And because of the way in which government and the way business is working right now, and these pseudo monopolies that are being created and these tiny little fiefdoms of business, it's actually not good for us. Anyway,
can I just say real quick to NightWatchman's point, that's also been fascinating to watch how the elements, not just weather. So they did a show last Saturday, and there were like fireworks. You know what I mean? Because it was the day after 4th of July, and I guess some people had some leftover fireworks. It was in this real sensitive scene between Helen, played by Andrea Patterson, and Memnon, played by Eric Berryman, also clack, 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 clack. And the actors just stayed with it. And then the fireworks also went on in the last scene, but that's a war scene. So it kind of it kind of added.
You
So
needed
sometimes-
those.
Yeah, sometimes it adds. I saw they did a play of mine, Seize the King, 4 years ago, and I think one character said something about the storming mind or something like that, and it was like thunderstorm was happening. So sometimes, to Bruce's point, you get these magic moments where actually the elements enhance. I mean, you can't rely on that, but that's. And then the audience was cheering because they realized that there was this serendipitous kind of like unusual coming together of elements and story. So sometimes that's fun too.
That's exactly what happened that night I saw the rain. The actors just went with it and worked it in, and it just shows the level of talent and craft that you all bring to the table. And for us, who are sitting in the audience, I just want to say we love it all. We appreciate it. And I also appreciate not having to go downtown for this level of show.
NightWatchman. Okay, yes, indeed. So, NightWatchman, you know what's happening. Can you say lightning round? You know this.
Lightning round, yes.
All right. Okay, now, one by one, make it comprehensive and succinct. All right. So, who you want to start with, NightWatchman?
Let's start with Ty.
All right, here goes, Ty, my man. You're on, baby.
Tell me what I'm on for.
You were on to say, hey, if they want to see the show, where do they go?
Okay, got it. All right. So if you want to see the show, please go to our website at cthnyc.org. We run from now through July 27th, Tuesday through Sunday, 8:30 p.m. Please go to our website to see some of our pre-shows. Ed Hardy, a violin virtuoso, as well as Harlem Opera, Harlem Chamber Players. Come on through to see the most anticipated Uptown production in all of summer 2025. Memnon.
Memnon. Beautiful. Will, we got you, buddy.
All right. Support CTA. Support all the different producers and activities that are on here. My website is willpower.tv. If you want to know more stuff, I'm on all social media. And please continue to support the arts. Bam!
Whoa, mic drop. Yes, yes. Okay. You know I'm coming to you. Bruce, last words. Go. Oh, no, that's not you.
Our question for Ty and Will, did you realize that you were creating a role that would make a star, that would make a celebrity?
This is the lightning round, no questions.
Sorry. I don't
That's it. There we go. Next, Jonathan, you're up, buddy.
Hey, y'all. Well, wherever you see the Stoop Session that's happening, pull up. And if you want to see me for the next little while, I'll be with the Wiz National Tour, touring all over the U.S.
Nice.
And also, again, check out the Stoop Sessions wherever it's happening.
Beautiful. Nice one. Nice. That means the Queen has the last word. Can you believe this?
Absolutely.
All right. Queen, you're up, my dear.
Absolutely support all of the small arts organizations that are bringing you programming this summer. You can follow us on Instagram at the Soapbox Presents. You can subscribe on our website to hear about all of our upcoming programming. We have a Stoop Session in Brooklyn this Saturday on Halsey Street between Marcy and Tompkins. It's our Funk of July. It's a funk session. We have a Stoop Session before it. It is always an amazing time. We have programming once a month. They'll be in Harlem in August, back in Brooklyn in September, back in Harlem in October, so we hope to see you then.
And you said you are on Broadway. Where can we see you on Broadway?
I am currently on Broadway in Death Becomes Her at the Lunt-Fontaine Theater. 8 times a week, right there on Broadway.
Excellent. And you know what? NightWatchman, before I hand it off to you. So, Will, I did also hear from Ty. There could be, because his legacy continues, and that, of course, is Robert Moses, the power broker. Okay, so if you wrote a play regarding him and how he literally loves to continue to subjugate Black and Brown communities, have at it, Will. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, that's interesting.
They didn't they do something on Broadway recently with Ralph Fiennes?
Yeah, but nah, we want to get into the meat and potatoes.
We'll do our own version.
Right. Exactly. All right.
It's a lot there.
All right.
Great idea.
Thank you. NightWatchman, take us home, buddy.
Listen to Soul Lounge Prime Time on WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem. Also live streaming on YouTube and Facebook. You can find us always find us on Monday nights on the radio. I think we're at 6 o'clock. We've been usually at 7, but they've shifted us. You can find this video version at 8 p.m. on Monday on YouTube and Facebook. We want to thank our guests for
Yes.
all the great work they do. Support arts in Harlem, support these activities, and go see everybody.
Yeah, good. Well, Night Watchman, will they all be invited back to the cookout? Just wanted to know.
Absolutely. And they don't even have to perform.
Hey.
But no damn raisins in potato salad, okay?